they are going to reject your visa. It's a complete rejection. To qualify for the Schengen visa, actually, you have to.
Can you work on a Schengen tourist visa?
Are you married? Do you have children? Like all the countries that you can acquire the easiest Schengen visa.
What documents must be included in the application that you think most people overlook?
Kwaku Asamoah is a Ghanaian living in the Netherlands.
He's known for breaking down complex visa processes into simple, relatable travel tips on TikTok, especially for Africans dreaming of Europe. Today, he's here to spill the tea with us.
There are a lot of reasons of the visa decision. So in the visa, there are so many important details that some people don't take much attention into.
What's up, everyone? Welcome to yet another episode of Life as a Foreigner. I'm your host, Princess Benido, and today's episode is quite different and very, very special because today our guest is remote. He's in Netherlands as we speak, and I am here in Lithuania. So we are talking to each other through the phone, and you can see my headphones on. So every now and then I'm going to try to see him, so that we talk. Okay, Kwaku Asamoah.
Hi, Princess.
Hi. You have become the face of travel tips on TikTok. What inspired that?
Hi, Princess. Thank you very much for this opportunity. So, my passion for travel, where I'm mostly engaged in reading and researching about travel-related topics. So, this is actually the reason that brought me into this sector.
Okay, let's go straight to it. Why is it so hard to get Schengen visa right now?
So, currently, a lot of people apply to visit the Schengen zone and unfortunately end up becoming overstayers. So people overstay more than those who are staying in the Schengen zone. So the Schengen countries or the European zone are also tightening their border rules. So this has extended to the embassies, to the non-Schengen countries. So wherever you may be applying for the Schengen visa for, the embassies are very, very strict relating to the kind of visas they have to give and the number of people applying for the visa, and also for them to be sure of whether you be coming back home or you overstay your visa. So these are some of the reasons why people travel and they decide not to come back, and at the long run they end up becoming overstayers, which makes it very, very difficult.
So in other ways, these people ruin the chances for people who aspire to apply
Exactly.
because they've overstayed. They're overstayers. Oh, no. So guys, you see, when you travel to Europe, not just Europe, when you travel to any country, please don't overstay. If you overstay, you're only being selfish, because at the end of the day, it may not affect you directly, but it's going to affect someone else.
Indeed.
What mistake do people make when applying for Schengen visa?
So for the biggest mistake people make is not fulfilling the requirement for the Schengen visa. So to qualify for the Schengen visa, actually, you have to fulfill all requirements. So when you don't fulfill the requirements, then you are putting yourself into denial or rejection. So the main issue is people not fulfilling their visa requirements.
But do you think these requirements, some are more important than the others?
Indeed, some are very, very important than the others.
What is Schengen visa, and which countries does it cover?
So the Schengen visa is actually a visa that grants you access to visit the Schengen zone in Europe. There are currently 29 countries in the Schengen zone. Romania and Bulgaria were added to the Schengen zone last year in 2024, and also in 2023, Croatia were added to it. So there are currently 29 countries. It grants you access to visit 29 European countries for visits, for tourism, to visit family and friends, for conferences, for medical purpose, or even for sporting activities. But what people don't know is that the name Schengen is actually from Luxembourg. So Schengen is a town in Luxembourg. So that is where the Schengen Agreement was signed in the late 1980s.
You are kidding.
Indeed, it is. In the early 1990s, when the Schengen visa was signed, it was actually signed in the town of Schengen in Luxembourg.
Oh my God, I didn't know this.
It is.
Wow. You see, we have to crown you the king of Schengen visa. You know so much. Like, you
Thank
guys
you.
must follow him on TikTok. His TikTok handle is Kwaku Asamoah. I will leave the link to it in the description of this video. Here, he's always giving information about Schengen visa. I think he has gone to a special school that they taught him all these things. Have you gone to any special school or you learned all these things on your own?
I actually learnt on my own.
Wow, guy, you are intelligent.
Thank you.
Okay, the Schengen visa, how long is it valid for? And can you visit multiple countries with just one visa?
So the Schengen visa, the duration, the maximum duration is 90 days within 180-day period. So the maximum duration they give for the visa is 90 days. But what they are saying is that within that 90 days of every 6 months, every 180 days, you can visit and leave and visit and leave till your duration expires, or maybe your visa expired. So, but not everybody gets the 90 days, depending on each one's circumstance. So it's possible that some people can even get 5-day visa, some can get 1 month, some can get 2 weeks, some can get 2 months visa. So this is the duration of the Schengen visa. And also, as long as you visit and you don't leave the Schengen zone, depending on your number of entries, you should be fine in the Schengen zone. So there are a lot of reasons of the visa decision. So in the visa, there are so many important details that some people don't take much attention into. So the number of entries will determine how long you can also stay.
We mostly see the single entry and the multi-entry. Is that what you are?
Exactly. So the single entry actually is for a single entry. So what it means is that even though your visa has not expired, when you visit and you leave the Schengen zone, you can't re-enter the Schengen zone unless you reapply for another visa. That is how the single. It means when you come one time and you leave, even though your visa has not expired or your duration has not ended, you cannot re-enter. You have to go to the embassy to take another visa. But for the multiple entry, what it means is that even if they've given me for 3 months, for 90 days, as long as the 90 days hasn't expired, I can go and leave the country, go and leave the country, all within the 90 days or before the expiry of my visa.
I see. But since the multi-entry gives you more flexibility, do you think that is more difficult to get than the single entry?
Actually,
Or you think it doesn't matter?
Actually, it doesn't matter. It actually depends on the decision of the visa officer. So you can choose a single entry, but they can give you multiple entry. You can choose a multiple entry, they can give you single entry. So it all depends on the decision of the embassy.
But do you think there is any factor that influences that decision?
Yes, each one's and their circumstances. So everybody's situation is different. So for somebody going to visit his or his sick mother abroad is different from somebody maybe going for tourism. So if you are going to visit a sick mother, maybe they know that maybe you may be doing a lot of things, so they will decide on what to give. But somebody who is going for just a tourism also has its own rules and regulation.
Can someone apply for this Schengen visa from anywhere in the world, or like any African country?
Yes. So
Also,
yes.
yeah,
So
and I wanted to also ask if you think it's easier to get it in some embassies than it is in other embassies.
So for the Schengen visa, they have their own requirements. So you can apply from wherever you are. So the best is to apply from your nationality or your place of residence. So wherever you are, as long as you are not in the Schengen zone, you can apply. So an example, if you are living in Nigeria, then it's best to apply from Nigeria, because that is where you are. That is where you are a resident of. And also, if you want to visit, maybe you apply for a French visa or for a German visa, then it's wise to apply to the German embassy rather than going to apply to maybe Italy embassy, because your purpose of trip is not to Italy but to Germany. So asking me if you can apply from all embassies, the question is no. So wherever the country you are visiting is where you have to apply for their visa. If the country you are visiting doesn't have any visa location, I believe there are instructions to attend a different embassy to submit your visa application.
Which country is the easiest or most lenient to apply through in 2025?
So this question actually demands a bit of statistics, because how they grade it is that in 2025, because we are still in 2025, so the records are not in yet. But for last year, they were able to pull the data of all the countries that you can acquire the easiest Schengen visa. So it's like I had an idea of what you'll be asking. So statistically, I would like to pull this up to just to go through what I've seen. So from what I'm reading is that in 2024, the country that granted the most visa was France, Spain, Germany, Italy, Greece, Netherlands, Switzerland, Austria, Hungary, and Belgium. So there was 11.7 million Schengen visa applications that were submitted in 2024, and France had the highest approval. So if you're asking me if which country grants the easiest, the thing is they are all using the same system. So they call it a visa information system. So it's very difficult for me to determine which country gives the easiest. But as long as you fulfill the requirement, it doesn't matter the country you attend the visa appointment. As long as you fulfill the requirement, then they can grant the visa. But France had the highest approval in 2024.
What documents must be included in the application that you think most people overlook?
So the most important document people overlook is your economic and your social ties document, and it's very, very important because I had to combine the two, economic and social. When I talk of economic, it's about your maybe your job security. Maybe you are working, so they want to see that indeed you are working. And what shows that you are working? You have to provide your employment document, contract that you are working. You have to provide your 3 months pay slip, that every month you are receiving salary. And also if you can take an official leave letter from your employer. So this will let the embassy to determine that you are doing something back home in your country, so that when you travel, something will pull you back home. Also, there are social ties. So social ties is what some people overlook. So sometimes when you ask people, it's more like a personal question, but it's important for us to know. So social ties may be your family ties. Maybe you are married, maybe you have children. So they want to see that when you travel, you are not leaving your family behind. Maybe you have a wife, you have a husband, so something will bring you back home. Maybe you have children who are attending school, so something will bring you back home. Or maybe you are a student, so they know that if you are in your third year or your second year in your university, something will bring you back home to complete your school. So the most important is your economic and your social ties documents.
Personally, I didn't realize this was very important.
Very, very important.
Is travel insurance still mandatory? And are there any recommendations that are cheap and yet acceptable, like any providers that you can recommend for us?
The travel insurance is a compulsory requirement. So yes, it's indeed mandatory. For Schengen, it's mandatory. So depending on the country, for some different other countries, it's not a required document. But for Schengen, they require travel medical insurance. So for the travel medical insurance, if you don't provide it, they are going to reject your visa. It's a complete rejection. So they'll respond to it that your visa is rejected because you didn't provide proof of adequate travel medical insurance. The reason why it's very important is because when you apply for the travel medical insurance, it should cover a minimum coverage of 30,000 euros. It doesn't mean you are going to pay 30,000 euros, no. But what it means is that if something happens to you in the Schengen zone and for medical reasons, or maybe for repatriation, for illness, then it means the insurance cover, what they have to cover, must cover up to that 30,000 euros. So it's not really expensive when you apply for the travel medical insurance to travel, but you have to fulfill the minimum requirement of the 30,000 euros. And also the coverage must be valid for the whole duration of your stay. So if you are staying for 20 days, the coverage should cover all 20 days. It shouldn't be like 15 days. Then what happens to the remaining 5 days? So this is what it is about the travel medical insurance. And one last thing with the travel medical insurance is that the you are asking me about the any idea or
And any
a
recommendations?
recommendation.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah,
if you've given me the go ahead
like they are
to
cheap and as.
mention, of course,
Oh yes, please.
AXA Schengen is a very good medical insurance that people can actually apply for the medical insurance from.
Is that the only one you are recommending for us?
There are actually a lot. There's also CoverWise. There is Europe Assistance. There is Mondial Care. There's OOM, Home Insurance. So just to mention a few, these are some of the travel medical insurances.
Okay. What kind of financial proof actually convinces embassies? Is it a statement or sponsors? I think I should reframe the question. Which one do you think convinces embassies more?
Whether it's bank statement or a
It's
sponsor.
this.
So
Yeah.
it's once again, it depends on everyone's circumstance. So both are very important. Both are very important, but I believe because it depends on everyone's circumstance, I wouldn't be so accurate to provide maybe 100% detail. But an example is if you're applying for a visit to visit a Schengen country for tourism, you have to make sure that you are providing your own documents, you are providing your own bank statements. So that will make the embassy to know that at least, like what I said, you are doing something back home that you can sponsor yourself. But if you are visiting a family or a friend and your family wants to sponsor you, then they can go ahead and sponsor. But mind you, you are the one traveling, not your family and friend abroad. They are receiving you. So the embassy is actually looking at you to know that as you are going, will you indeed come back? So it's best for you to provide your own bank statement. And if you have a sponsor, you can also add their sponsorship documents to it. But the most important is for you to have your own bank statement so that at least the embassy can have some trust in you.
Do you think having a family or the invitation letter improve your chances
Yes, so
to get this Schengen visa?
indeed. So this is what I said about the documentation. So it's part of the social ties. It's good to have a family. When you have a family, it's a plus. But if you don't have it, what can you do? You don't have it yet. So when I talk of a family, I'm not talking of maybe a brother, a sister, your auntie, your uncle, relative, family. Maybe I'm talking of your husband. I'm talking of your wife. I'm talking of your children. So for them, they really kind of respect, let's say, marriage a lot. So if you are married, they're expecting to see that you are providing a marriage certificate or something to prove that you are indeed married. If you have children, at least they want to see that you have their birth certificates to prove that you have kids there. So it's very important to have a family ties if you are married or have children. But if you don't have, maybe you have parents, you have a mother, you have a father, you are supporting them financially, you are doing something with them, and they are also part of the tie. So you can also add their document to support your application.
I actually meant family in Europe, but I mean, it's my mistake. I didn't really specify. I meant to ask if your chances to get the Schengen visa increases if you have family in Europe or if you are given an invitation to come
It's yeah.
rather than someone who is just.
This is a very good question, and thank you very much for this question. And this also depends on each one's circumstances. So, if you are not married, and let's say your partner, your boyfriend or your girlfriend is inviting you, it's suspicious. They will see that when your boyfriend or girlfriend joins you, it's maybe he or she may not return back home. But if your wife or husband is joining you, then they know that this is a long stay. So they will prefer you to apply for a spousal visa, a marriage visa, rather than applying for maybe a boyfriend or a girlfriend to visit you. But when you have a family in Europe, it's actually a plus that they will know that when you go, you will not be stranded anywhere. If something happens to you, you have some people to rely on. But then again, it also depends. They are also thinking, will your family receive you? Will you go back home wherever you are after your visa expires, or you are going to stay with your family forever? So it depends on the situation. But then it's important that when you have a family, at least there's a trust that there are some people willing to receive you.
Let's cite this example. Say you have a sibling who is here in Europe and is just like maybe 6 years older than you. Do you think that could improve your chance or make it worse for you?
If your sibling is inviting you to Europe for a visit to visit you, then it's fine. What are the terms and conditions? Maybe.
Yeah, I was saying that not your sibling is not inviting you, but your sibling is there in that country or here in like in the Schengen zone, and you are also going there for a vacation. Do you think they could say, okay, uh, her sibling is here?
I understand your question. So when you are filling the visa application, they are not asking about your sibling is in Europe. So it depends on what you are applying for. If you are applying for a tourism, you are going for tourism. So it depends on how you are filling the application. But when you are going to visit a family or a friend, then you will also put that in the application that, okay, I'm visiting my brother in Europe. It can improve your chances. But when you are going for tourism, then you start to mention all your family members abroad. Then they are thinking that after your tourist is ended, probably you may not go back home. I don't know if you really understand what I mean.
Yeah, I understand. And I asked that question because I have an acquaintance who was rejected because they had a family here in Europe. So the reason was that, I mean, according to them, I did not really see the proof, but
Yeah,
they told me they were rejected because their sibling is here, their sibling got married, and they asked them, what are the chances that you would also go back home and not just get somebody here to get married when you come? You are young anyway. So they
exactly.
rejected
And what was the
that.
purpose of the visit? Was it like for tourism?
Actually, first, they tried tourism, they were rejected. Then their sibling invited them and they were rejected as well.
Okay.
They were denied.
Okay. So sometimes when a sibling or a family or friend invites you, probably they don't add enough documents. So it's possible that when someone invites you, at least they should also prove more documents for the embassy to know that they are really coming to, and you can support them also. So you are bringing your document, they are also adding more documents to support it. And if it doesn't happen, you look at the refusal letter again, whatever they told you to work on, then you reapply again in future.
Can someone with low bank balance still get approved?
It's possible, and it's happened a couple of times. So what happens is each country have their own minimum requirements, money requirements you should have. An example like the Netherlands, I think the minimum is like 55 euro a day. So if you are going to spend, let's say, 10 days, maybe 55 times 10 is what they want to see you have. But then 55 times 10 is not enough. It's not like you should have, let's say, maybe 1055, exactly 1055. Then what if something happens? Then they're expecting to see like maybe times two of it, maybe times two of 1055 or times three. But when they are looking at your situation, someone is a student, the person is not working. So they know that the student is not working. So as a student, maybe you don't even have bank statement, but still there are so many students whose bank statements are approved. So it's not really about the bank statement is very important, but it's also advisable or possible that you can have a low bank balance and your visa can still be approved.
What is better? Applying for visit visa, tourist visa, whatever, or business visa?
So tourist visa is for tourism, and maybe you want to visit France to visit the Eiffel Tower. It's for tourism. for conference, for business visa is for conference. You are attending a conference in the Schengen zone, or you are going for a business program, or even a trade fair, a trade show. So I cannot determine what you are applying for. So you know your circumstance. If you want to treat yourself in a Schengen zone medically, you are applying for a medical visa. So each application and their requirements. So if you're applying for a conference, then you have to know that this conference you are attending, you've received an invitation letter to attend. If you are going to treat yourself in Lithuania, a hospital should provide you medical documents that they've given you an invitation. If you are going for tourism, maybe you want to visit the Eiffel Tower, you've even paid for your ticket. You have to show proof of your ticket that you've paid. So if you are going for a sports program, you have to provide the sporting documents or any certificate. So these are the visa categories. So I cannot say tourism or conference is better. So each one and the application they are applying for. So whatever you are applying for determines the visa category that you have to choose. As a student, or maybe a student visiting family and friend, they mostly approve. And someone also going for conference, they sometimes approve. So they have to conference. If you get a paid one, at least you've paid, you've gotten the invitation. It's better than applying for a free conference without paid. So it's better to have like a genuine one, so that they will know that at least, and if it's a conference, at least it should fall within your maybe your course you are doing in school, or maybe if you are working, like it should align with your work. So probably I'll say a business visa, or a student attending a program or visiting a family or friend abroad.
Should people use agents, or they should apply for the visa themselves?
It's easier to apply. So for me, I would advise to apply it yourself. You have to get the application forms, go through the requirements, fill the application, print, you sign, put in a date, book your appointment, add all your documents, submit to the embassy. Within 2 weeks to 4 weeks, you've gotten a decision. It's easier to apply on your own. But then we know that not everybody maybe can read or write. Not everybody is really enlightened. So not everybody has really gone a bit far in their education. So if you feel like you cannot do it yourself and you prefer an agent to do it for you, or a travel consultant to do it for you, or an immigration lawyer to assist you, that is also fine. But as long as they are also fulfilling the requirements, and maybe they are not overcharging or maybe providing fake documents and all that, whoever applies for you should be able to do a genuine job for you.
So you think it's easy enough for anyone to apply?
Yes, if you can do it yourself.
And you yourself, when you applied for your first Schengen visa, what was the process like?
Okay, so for mine, actually mine wasn't a Schengen visa, so it really helped me to study more about a Schengen visa. Mine was actually a long stay visa. So a Schengen visa is mostly for a short stay. So mine was actually a long stay visa because I traveled for education. I traveled to further my education in the Netherlands. So mine was actually a long stay visa. So the process was quite smooth, and also when you are going to school, probably your chances of getting the visa is more higher than someone maybe attending going for maybe tourism or something, because sometimes they place more priority with people going to school. So mine was a long stay visa.
Okay. And what was the process like for you?
So I applied
The long
to
stay visa.
Yes, I applied to school abroad. I got admission. There was scholarship opportunities opened. I applied for the scholarship. I secured the scholarship, and mostly for school. The school will actually process your documentation for you. So I didn't really do much. They processed most of my documentation for me. They sent it to me. I failed. I sent it back to them. They sent it to me. I sent it back to the school. Then when everything was fine, they told me I can go to the embassy for my visa. So what happens is that before you go to the embassy, they've already sent your documentation to the embassy. So the embassy already have your records. It means the embassy, the immigration have already approved your visa abroad. They've already approved your visa in the advanced country before you attending your interview. So your interview is more like a formality for them to know who you are. Then when it's time, you go for your interview. Then if the visa is approved, they'll tell you to come for it around this time. So that is what happened with mine.
Wow. I didn't know that. So, like, wait, are you trying to say that it's not possible for a student not to get a Schengen visa or the long stay visa?
No, it's possible for a student to get both for the Schengen visa. That is what I'm saying. Yeah, but yeah, yes, mine was actually going for longer stay. So my process was actually different from somebody applying for a Schengen visa for tourism or to visit a family and friend. I was going to school.
No, I mean the long stay visa. Because right now they don't even do that in Lithuania. Now they just give the temporary residence permit
Okay.
for students.
Yes,
So
and
I'm saying that. Do you think? So do you believe that it's the chances of a student not getting the visa is like 0.001% or what?
for a Schengen visa, right? You mean?
No, the long stay visa, the one for students.
No, you can get a
Because
you
you,
can you can get a visa.
you were saying, yeah, you said that once like the school fills the form, they give it to the embassy looks at it. So
Yeah.
when you attend the interview,
Yeah.
it's just like a formality because basically you've been approved. That's why I'm asking this question for students.
That's whether
So yeah, it just the way you explained it, for me, I understood that like as long as you get admitted into a school, you would automatically get a long stay visa. That's how I
no.
understood it because you said attending the interview is just like a formality because
Yes, that is what I said, that if the immigration of where, let's say you are attending the school in Lithuania, if the Lithuanian immigration approved the visa for you, then wherever you are, you will attend your visa interview in Nigeria. So they've already approved for you in Lithuania. So you just have to show yourself for them to know that indeed you are the one applying for the visa and answer your questions. And most of the time, 90% of the time, your visa is approved. So because we are talking of Europe, that is how most of the system works here for some countries. But if you're applying for a student visa in different countries like Canada, America, they also have their own requirements and what you have to do.
what is the biggest myth people believe about Schengen visas?
One thing I really read on the internet, especially on Facebook, I don't have travel history. I have a US visa, so it's easy for me to get a Schengen visa. I should have huge bank statement, or maybe I should apply through an agent, what we are discussing. So when I got my visa, I wasn't having a travel history. So it was my first time securing a visa. So it's not necessary to have a travel history to fulfill the requirements. As long as you fulfill their requirements and they want to give the visa, they will actually issue the visa. And also, some people have USA visas in their passport, Canada visas in their passports, so or maybe other European, UK visa. So they feel like because I have an advanced country visa, then automatically my Schengen visa has to be approved. But that's not the situation. So if you have a Canada visa, UK, you can even have all the three. So when you submit your application and you forgot to add your travel medical insurance, it doesn't matter. Your visa will be refused. So one thing I've learned, a biggest myth I normally read is like the travel history, and maybe I should have a visa sticker in my passport, which is easier for me to secure a visa. That is not true.
Have you ever had a visa rejected? What happened and what did you learn from it?
Oh, this story. Oh, thanks for reminding me. And also, I was rejected a Canada visa, I think in 2013, and that was like 12 years ago. So at that time, I was even so young. I didn't even know much about this visa process. There was not much of this social media to really do all these things. So I applied for a Canada visa for, I think it was for a sports program, attending a sports program, and yeah, I was refused. So just as it was in the past, I think it's still the same. If you submit your documents, they review. If they refuse, they send you a letter. They tell you why it was refused. So that was like 12 years ago, and yeah, I was really worried, but in life you never know. So opportunities come all the time.
Did you learn anything from it?
It pushed me to really study more about this visa process. So even though I haven't done any course on like immigration, or taking a PhD or bachelor's or master's or certificate course, but it pushed me to study more, to read more, and I'm always researching. So if I want to go for a sports program in Canada, I'm looking at the cities. Okay, I'm going for a sports program in Ontario. Where is Ontario? Then I start to read about Ontario. I start to have the map of Ontario in my mind. So okay, maybe Ontario is a province. Okay, now I'm diving deep to go into Toronto. So now I want to know deep down, where is it in Toronto? What is the capacity? If it's a stadium, what is the capacity of the stadium? Where is the stadium located? So these petty things, I actually take these petty things into detail. That is why when I'm doing videos and teaching on TikTok, sometimes you see me adding maps and going into details to talk about this kind of things.
What advice would you give to someone who has been rejected more than once?
Keep on applying. Don't give up in life, and the most important is to fulfill the requirement. Because if you are not fulfilling the requirement and just applying, then you keep on losing money to the embassy. It's very expensive. So for me, keep on applying and don't give up hope. So when I was rejected, I didn't give up hope. I kept on applying. I kept on applying, and finally I secured one.
And I also think that it's very important to look at the reason why you were rejected. Because if you don't know why, you will just keep repeating the same mistake over and over and over again. So, of all the documents, which one do you think is the most important?
Everyone is important. So every document is important. The visa application form is very important. People don't pay attention to the visa application form. People think, yeah, it's not like a major document. But recently, the Netherlands government issued a statement that a lot of people don't fill their visa application form well. So most people provide incomplete data, incomplete visa application. So when you apply for a visa, the first thing they look at is your visa application form. So if it's not filled in well, then the rejection starts from there. So for me, what I would say is that the most important is to fill your visa application form properly.
And least important?
And the least important, land and home documents. I don't think those ones are documents they look at. I have a land, I have a house, so they should give me a visa. No, no, it's not a requirement applying for a Schengen visa.
They want to prove that they have a property.
Yes, fine. You can add it to your document, but even nowadays, when you are submitting it, some of this, the facilitation services, they take them out. The people you are submitting the documents, sometimes they tell you that no, this one take it out, this one take it out. So it's not really a major requirement. Yeah, it's very least. But if you have it, you want to add it, you can still add it.
Why not?
Why not? Exactly.
What's the craziest question you've heard someone being asked at or during a visa interview?
Actually, I thought it was crazier because I didn't know much about these travel tips until I started reading, researching about it. So the craziest I in the past I heard was, "Are you married? Do you have children?" Like I felt like it's their personal questions. So why should you ask me about my personal question, like my personal life, whether I'm married or I have children? Like not everybody wants to marry. Not everybody wants to have kids. So like it doesn't concern you, But when I started going deep into it, I realized that there are really major questions that the embassies ask. So everything they ask are major questions. So for me, it was crazier then, but now I don't see it to be crazier. And I haven't really heard or seen more crazier questions afterwards.
Can you work on a Schengen tourist visa?
No, it's a short stay visa, so you cannot work with it.
You know, they have type C and type D, right?
Yes. So the type C is the Schengen one for the short one. And the type D is for school, somebody going to school or going to work or somebody to join the family.
Okay. So I guess that's what you also had for your school, right? The
Yes.
long stay
Yes,
visa.
type D.
Then later you changed to temporary residence.
Yes, type D.
I see. Are there ways to legally extend your Schengen visa while you are already in Europe?
There are ways, but because it's mostly short stay visa, it's quite difficult. But let's say you travel and you fall sick, you are supposed to leave tomorrow, but you've had a serious illness, you cannot travel. You can't do anything about it. So they have to extend your visa for, but it's not like you are sitting in your room for them to extend. You have to prove that this is the situation. Maybe you've gone to the hospital, the doctor has written a report for you. Then you have to submit an application that this is my situation. Then the immigration department can extend your visa for you, or maybe for humanitarian reason. So in the country, and maybe let's say a natural disaster occurred or something, and you happen to be someone who was really on the front helping and all that, and there's a proof to show, then they can extend. But aside these kind of things, it's quite difficult for them to extend for you.
What are 3 hacks or tips most people don't know about the Schengen visa?
Apply 6 months ahead. Um, if you want to travel in, let's say we are in September, you want to travel in January or February, you have to start the application now. So you can submit your application 6 months ahead. A lot of people don't know. So they will submit the application today, and in the next week, they will tell you, I have a conference to attend in Lithuania. I haven't received my visa. But what were you doing prior to your submission of your, so you have to always apply like on time, 6 months ahead. So if you know you'll be attending a conference in the Netherlands or Lithuania, always apply 6 months ahead. So this is one tip you should know. The second is, when you are leaving your Schengen zone, your passport should be valid for at least 3 months. So if you secured your Schengen visa, it will expire tomorrow, and you are leaving the country today, back to Ghana, back to Nigeria. Your passport you are holding, the expiry date should be like December of this month, of this coming month. So if your passport will expire, let's say October, it's highly they will reject your application. So the second tip is to,
Really?
yes, the second tip is to always check your passport expiry. So that is when you are leaving the Schengen zone, the expiring date should be of your passport should be 3 months ahead. Then the third one is like what I said, fill your visa application properly. Fill your visa application properly. So these are the 3 most important hacks or tips I can teach.
The second hack I didn't know at all. And I didn't even think it's a thing. Because why does it even matter? I'm
It's
going back home. So
yes, it does
how much
matters.
how much does it cost? I mean, realistically, to apply for Schengen visa.
Thank you for this question. It's a very important question. So for the Schengen visa for adults, when I talk of adults, I'm not talking of 18 years plus. I'm actually talking of 13 plus. That is their definition of adult when it comes to Schengen. So if you are 13 years and above,
13 years.
yeah,
30. Okay.
13, 13, 1 3.
Hey, really?
Yes, 13. If you are 13 plus, it's 90 euros. 90 euros, 90 euros. If you are less than 13 years, that is 45 euros. And children 6 years and below is free. So children from 0 to 6 years is free. 6 to 13 is 45 euros. 13 and above is 90 euros.
And then you have to buy the medical insurance, and you have to book hotel, and you have to buy plane ticket. I mean, this is the travel one, so I don't think that matters. The ticket Wait, but you need an itinerary, right?
You need
You need a flight itinerary.
itinerary. We can go into the documents if you want.
Yeah, I mean, like I just wanted us to give an approximate amount, like how much it will
Oh, okay.
cost to apply
So
for it. Because,
so
yeah, I mean, it
applying,
doesn't have to be detailed, but approximately.
yes. The flight reservation, you are not paying for your flight, so maybe you can just reserve it. So it's not like you are paying for your plane ticket. So don't buy plane ticket. Don't buy it unless your visa is approved, because you don't know if they are going to approve your visa. So you are not going to buy plane ticket. And also the medical insurance, for that one you have to buy it and add it to your application. So for the medical insurance, the travel medical, it's not expensive. So let's say within 20 to maybe 50 euro, within 20 to 50 euro. So maybe for somebody in Ghana, let's say between 300 to maybe 800 Ghana cedi. If you're in Nigeria, maybe between 50,000 to 100,000 naira. So it's not really expensive. So for that one, you can buy for it. After your visa is approved, that is when you are going to buy your plane ticket. So if I'm 13 plus and I pay for my 90 euros, then I pay for my medical insurance. My medical insurance, let's say I pay 30 euro, that is 120 euro. And you can reserve hotel. You are not going to pay for your hotel. So reserving the hotel, maybe you haven't paid for it yet. So I think these are the major fee. Taking your pay slip, you are not paying for your pay slip. Taking your letter from your employer, you are not taking a letter from your institution. You are not, if you are doing your own business, maybe you already have your certificate, maybe you are going to file for your tax if you are doing your own business. So filing for your tax, I don't think you are going to pay huge sums of money. If you're adding your marriage certificate, your children birth certificate, I don't think you are going to pay any money. So overall, let's say maybe 150 euro as an adult for the process.
So it's less than 500 euros.
Less than 500, less than 300 euro. Maybe you have to take a car to go to the embassy to submit and fuel and all that, but let's say 150 to 200 euro.
Should someone with low income apply, or they should wait until they become financially stable?
And for me, it's not about financially stable, but um, yeah, who is financially stable? So for me, what you are having, as long as maybe it has fulfilled the requirement I spoke about, you can submit. But it doesn't mean that if you are having like, if you are in Ghana and maybe you are having like 500 Ghana cedi, so you are using the 500 Ghana cedi as your low income bank statement. Like, it's not possible, because you are traveling, you are going here, you are going there. The 500 cedi is not enough. So like what I explained, if like for the Netherlands is 55 euro a day, you are multiplying it by 10. So 55 times 10, maybe is it 1,055 or something euro. I don't know if I'm right. I haven't done the calculation well. Then also you can have times two of that. If you don't have the times two, it always depends on your circumstance. They just want to see, like what I said, somebody is a student. If you're a student and you are not working, so they are not expecting you to have like 100 million euros in your account. So the little you have, it's fine, as long as somebody is also sponsoring you wherever you are going. So I cannot determine that at all costs you should be financially stable or have this amount of money, but at least there should be a reasonable income or money in your account to start or apply for the visa.
What would you say to a young Ghanaian or African watching this video who has a dream to travel to Europe?
I mean, it's it's an opportunity to take. It's worth it. There are a lot of things to explore outside wherever you are. It gives us so many opportunities in life. People travel for school, people travel for work, people travel to visit family, people travel to attend conferences, people travel to treat themselves abroad. Even presidents travel to for medical reasons. So for me, whatever opportunity you want to take, go ahead and take it.
I know you've already said that for you, you would always advise anyone applying to make sure the application form is filled right. But I also want to ask again, what is one golden rule everyone applying this year or applying now must remember?
What you have to remember is that visa acquisition is not automatic. So visa acquisition is not direct. Visa acquisition is not like automatic approval. There are people serving in government, ministers, that even their visas are refused. So the one thing you should always remember about visa is that it's either approval or denial. If it is approved, we thank God. If it is denied, we prepare and try again.
Right. You should not take it too personally. And you should not go do anything crazy about it. Just
Exactly.
do again, try again.
Exactly.
Finish this sentence for me. Being an African in Europe has taught me that.
The world is global. The world is indeed global. The world teaches us opportunities. The world is open for all of us. The world is not closed. Like what I said, we travel for school to further our education. We travel to explore. We travel to meet families and friends. We travel to treat ourselves. So, as an African, what I will tell you is that the world is opened for all of us. We live in a global world, that in this modern world, don't be stagnant, don't be static, don't rely on your past, don't live your life to depend on people. Take an action, make a move, decide for yourself, and the life will be worth it for all of us.
Wow, this is so wise. Oh, Kwaku Asamoah, it was a real pleasure talking to you. You have no idea. This conversation, at least, I found it very insightful. You have, like I said before, you must follow him on TikTok. He's always giving such information. I always like to watch his videos because each time I watch his video, I learn something new. He's like that. So, yeah, Kwaku Asamoah, thank you so much for doing this with me. And I hope that we will do this again, right?
Yes, indeed, indeed. Thank you very much, Princess. I'm very happy to join your platform. I've been also following you a lot on TikTok, on Instagram, on Facebook. I follow you everywhere. I really like what you are doing, encouraging the youth, encouraging everyone, and also finding yourself in Lithuania. I'm always watching your content because I really like the kind of the creative ideas you are using to create content. And sometimes before I create something, I just want to come and look at what you've done so that I can pick some tips from it. I'm very grateful for this opportunity. And once again, I will encourage everyone that the world is indeed global.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. So, guys, thank you so much for watching until the very end. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like, and leave your thoughts in the comment section. We want feedback. What we've said, we want to know what you think about it. Whether good or bad, we don't care. We just want feedback. So, that being said, I hope to see you in the next episode. This is Sagaro. Bye.